All right, guys. So welcome back to Oshare ShoX. Welcome back once again. My name is Derek, and my host we have is Aaron. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Thank you very much for checking out our podcast. If this is your first time here, seriously, thank you very much for actually dropping in and just listening to this, because we know like there's so many podcasts out there, and the fact that you decided to check this one out means a lot to us. So we appreciate that.
Yes.
And for our ongoing fans or our audio listeners that's been keeping in touch with us or been checking out our podcast episodes, we can see that, and we greatly appreciate you for staying tuned and just continuing to support our podcast. If you guys want to support more of what we do and want to get in a hold of us and kind of want to discuss and talk about some future content, like ideas maybe you want us to talk about, or maybe you have something that you want to share, please feel free to join us over at our Oshare Discord official community group. We're going to be there. There will probably be times where we'll be actually on for voice calls. If any one of you guys aren't shy, we can definitely talk a little bit over there. But we want to make it, essentially what we want to do, me and Aaron, is to create a place where you and I can share our passion for it, whether it be Visual Kei music, maybe be a fashion thing, or anything Japanese culturally related. We will welcome you with big open arms, right, Aaron?
Yes, definitely.
Yes, we're gonna give you a nice big virtual hug, not a real hug, because we can't physically be where you're at. So so we have to do you we'll put a little image for you guys. We'll think of a fun one for our YouTube viewers. That's where you guys benefit. So if any of you guys listening to Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, I'm sorry, but for you YouTubers, you guys win again. So I'm gonna put a little GIF or a little video for us embracing you guys. Okay, so now talking about kind of what Visual Kei is for our audience. I always like to tell our audience a little bit more about Visual Kei. So for those of you that listen to our podcast, this isn't news, but for those of you that's checking out our podcast for the very first time and tuning in for this exact moment, we are essentially a podcast series that focuses on talking about Visual Kei music scene. We essentially want to show not only our love for this music scene, but we also want to share aspects about it that we think is really wonderful, and we feel like it's kind of a little bit left due to the passage of time. And therefore, we are here to kind of bring you guys kind of this sense of wonder about this music culture, music scene over in Japan.
Yes.
That's very, very unique, because honestly, if you were to say, I see Visual Kei, it looks like goth music or it looks like emo music, Aaron will totally come and kill you. But if we were to say anything, what you see if you do a quick Google search about Visual Kei is, maybe it does come off as a little bit like, it just reminds me of Korean boys or goth music or emo music. Yes, maybe in first glance that's what it looks like to the average person, but there's actually more to Visual Kei. We have a lot of great episodes that highlight how Visual Kei became what it is now, and kind of how it shaped up from even as early as we're talking about during Samurai Edo period days, or even before that. So we have a lot of fascinating, great episodes that do discuss about kind of like how Visual Kei became what it is due to cultural influences. At the end of the day, everything that we see and share and talk about, especially for Visual Kei, all goes back to a very, very traditionally practiced cultural tradition that hasn't changed, right? Whether that be kabuki or maybe the language of the Japanese is all very deeply rooted in that culture. So now that you kind of have for our audience that's new, that has somewhat of a breakdown of some ideas of what Visual Kei is, we do highly recommend you check out some of our older stuff, especially I'll say the kabuki, the X Japan, and even episode 1, just because it's just a great little appetizer for what's to come. So Aaron, today we're going to talk about, oh my goodness, yet another one of my favorite bands, in fact.
So favorite band, honestly, because of I totally forgot about this band. thanks to you, you brought.
I was okay. To be fair, like to be honest, like I feel like because of how much is going on during Wave 2 being like the golden era of like all these crazy Visual Kei music bands that did a lot of crazy stuff, it's hard to remember everyone. I'm gonna be very honest. Like you may like there is so many to the point where you're like you only choose and pick the ones that you care about. Like meaning like you want to really like dig deep into their stuff, right?
You know what? Yes,
So,
I was quite selective.
yeah, same here. I was too. So like to be honest, because if you follow everyone, you're following no one.
Yes, yeah.
So
Honestly,
yeah.
now you mentioned about this band, and of course, today we are talking about this band called Kagura.
Yeah, I'm gonna give applause just because personally I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So since Derek, you mentioned about that this is one of your favorite bands, I kind of understand why, because like this band again made another major influences toward for the future bands, right?
yeah,
And their music style, of course, I'm sorry to say, no Western band would do it.
oh no, it's too much. Cause I mean like it's kind of hard to emulate what they've kind of done, right? Cause like it's just so specific that it's almost impossible for a Western band to fully comprehend it, right?
Yes.
And that's kind of why I think this band is very unique. I will talk a little bit more about this, but I'll let Aaron continue on here.
Yeah. So like now this band turned out that again always our audience they correct us if we give out some wrong information, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like this is the first Visual Kei band that with the rock music combined with their traditional Japanese instruments in there.
That's correct. Yeah.
What makes it to me as let's say for a person who don't know anything about VK, like that could be that's a totally Japanese thing.
Oh yeah.
Or it's a total Asian thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So so that's what I found. It's super interesting, and like how surprisingly all works out perfectly.
Yeah, honestly, it's very interesting because I mean during that time, actually a lot of, especially around this time, right? We talked about kind of how Wave 2 and kind of how we're starting to see a little bit different variations of things. Whether it be on cafe or plastic tree or muck, we're starting to see a little bit of people trying to kind of like branch off a little from the main kind of the X Japan, the Four Heavenly Kings, and that kind of mainline type of music and fashion style and sense. But now it's kind of more we're trying to pivot off, and everyone's trying to do a little bit more than just kind of what's expected, right? So I feel like Kagura definitely found a place, or I'm gonna be very specific, a niche that kind of really helped showcase their strengths and in their musicality and in terms of like their cultural respect for the love of their country, like a patriot pretty much. Yeah. So I mean like again, like when you look at, I will say what Kagura did really well, and I'll be very honest from my perspective, is I feel like they definitely introduced kind of like that very, I'm gonna be very honest here, very Japanesey type of feel to their music. I know this, it's not even Japanese a word, but
okay.
Don't get me wrong. Every other band we listen to is like, yeah, I can hear a Japanese vocalist, but something about Kagura is not just the traditional instrument, which is the koto, but it's more so of like, kind of like how they present themselves and how the singer, what is his name again?
Ishii.
Ishii, yes, correct. Kind of how he kind of brings a very traditional kind of flavor to it. It's hard. Like, I'm gonna be very honest here. It's very hard to bring something like
Derek. You said the vocalist like has a like very unique like flavor to it, hey?
Yeah.
what kind of flavor is it? Is it sweet or tasty?
No,
or,
well, I'm gonna say it tastes like oh shoot, what's the perfect word for it? Seaweed.
Oh, seaweed. Okay, okay, all right.
Yeah, because that's a very traditional thing, right? Because like for the Japanese, it's either rice, vinegar, or like seaweed, or nigiri. Like that's not nigiri. What the heck am I trying to say? It's seaweed. So, anyways, it does bring a very Japanese flavor to it, and I will say, out of everything I've heard up to now, including other stuff I listened to around this time, I'm like, yeah, they really hit that super traditional, very like close to home Japanese flavor to their to the music. Because I'll be honest, Japanese music, like if we're talking about like really traditional music, it's very folklory and it's very like it's a very like acquired taste type of thing.
Oh, okay, now I see what.
Because
you
like,
mean.
if it's just like classical music. If I were to give anyone classical music, they're like, it's boring elevator music, right? Come on, let's be honest here, right? Let's be honest.
That's right.
Yeah, and we're talking about traditional music, man. We're talking about something that's so like specific to that country that anyone else that listens to it, they're like, what is this? Like, it's like boring music, or it's like, it's too shrilly. Or it's like it's too much, right? And I feel like with kind of how Kagura went with the direction they did, with kind of infusing Japanese music, cultural background in their music, and giving a little bit of Western flavor to it, kind of balanced it out and made it very palatable, meaning like acceptable. So that's kind of where I really fell in love with their stuff, because I'm like, you know what? As much as I really like X, Y, and Z, I'm like, I always wanted a band that represented Japan in a small way, like just really to the roots, but kind of modernized. And I feel like Kagura was kind of the start of it. Not saying like they are the only ones, but they kind of paved the way for future generation bands, especially Wagaki Band, which is kind of more of the modern version of Kagura, right? So I will say, definitely one thing I will definitely mention about is what made this band successful was they brought in a very traditional instrument called the koto. It's pretty much, we'll go throw a picture for you guys. By the way, I'm going to say this right now. You Japanese people, or if anyone is a Japanese listener, you guys ain't the only ones, okay? Chinese, we also have something similar, okay? So you guys ain't the special ones. It came from us, okay? And you guys made it smaller. Okay, anyways, just joking. But again,
Sure,
I feel like with Kagura, they were able to bring in the koto and made it like they brought it in very kind of sparingly, to the point where it's not too much, but it kind of gave people like, it's kind of scratch a part of their brain where it's like, oh, you know what? Actually, traditional Japanese music actually can sound good with some rock inspirations, right? So if we're to talk about kind of what Kagura has done, they have really brought in home of I'm gonna say this, okay? I'm gonna call this modernized kabuki, okay? That's how I interpret them, because they not only
modernized kabuki.
modernized kabuki, meaning they took kabuki, but they kind of made it a little bit more modern, like, with the guys dressing with like the traditional wear, a little bit of makeup, maybe not too much to the point where it's like you question if it's the opposite sex. Okay, if you guys are interested in kabuki, please check out the previous episode, because it will make this one even better. So they are able to do that in a way where it's like you can tell they're men, but it's just like, okay, it's just how they look is more like, definitely Visual Kei is like the perfect kind of middle spot where they can represent the traditional, the modern, and also add kind of their own flair to it, where it's kind of very Visual Kei like in terms of presentation. When you look at them, you're like, okay, yeah, they fit Visual Kei, but they also kind of fit the traditional look of a very old traditional band, but also very like rock bandy in a way. It's kind of Western. So I do feel like they do a really good job in doing that. So if you're to ask me what songs I will recommend. There's so much, but I will be honest, there's only one single that's worth your time. Oh, actually two. One of them is Uzu. This one is a 2008 single, but honestly, I think it did a really good job combining Western and Eastern vibes together, like in a very Visual Kei kind of way. I felt like it was very catchy. And Utaka is a very good song, a good ballad. It's not quite a ballad, but it's an emotional song. It feels very Japanese, but also like it's almost like you're listening to like a romantic song. It's not like Ruichi, okay? Aaron, don't pull down your pants, okay? It's not that type of tasty, but it's definitely very emotional. It sounds great.
Well, you did say he got some flavor in it.
Yeah, at least it's not tasty, bro. Like.
Wow. So what's that? It's not tasty. That what tastes bad?
I call it the Japanese flavor taste, meaning like, yes, like this Japanese to be expected.
So is it something that tastes something like wasabi?
No, it's more like seaweed. That's kind of how I see it.
Okay. Mixed together, right?
To be fair, maybe more like rice balls, because that's kind of like a classic, a Japanese staple, right?
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I see it. It's like a onigiri that you go for a convenience store stop, and then you grab the exotic flavor. Maybe like it's like a traditional one, but like maybe they added like pineapple on top. So that's kind of how I see Kagura.
Maybe that in Japan they should like start to like when they're selling all those items, they should put a picture of Ishi there, right? He's at the flavor of Ishi.
I will go that far to say that, but I will say they I'll say they definitely if anything, they definitely inspired a very popular act where that is kind of more modern, but Gaki band. We will definitely talk about them later on, but it's more so of like them introducing, hey, you know what? Japanese cultural instruments or style music can sound cool or can sound great. So I think Kagura did a phenomenal job there. So if anything, yeah.
But like honestly, it's like started from the Kagura, right? If I feel like they officially turned the whole Visual Kei scene into like the Japanese own musical scene or musical culture.
Yes, they actually did. They definitely did. Because I feel like a lot of, I think things that came after them, they always tried to infuse like some sort of like dress wear or maybe like a certain style of like singing or even instrumentations into like their own music, right? So it's kind of cool to see that, right? Like now you bring out a good point, because like honestly I was like, yeah, no, that's very true, because now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh yeah, there's some other acts later on that I'm like, yeah, I can definitely see some Kagura inspirations. Yeah.
As I was still learning about the whole Visual Kei scene, right, I feel like bands like Kagura, is what I would call Visual Kei. Interesting. I know Visual Kei. That's why I have to like the proper way to as from the very first episode, right? I did mention about like there's the definition of Visual Kei.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So like from now though, the picture that is started to show now is like a movement.
That's correct. Yeah.
Right. It's a movement that like from how the whole thing got started, because like honestly until this day, like there might not be a solid definition, but like it's all about a movement, how the whole thing changed from this like toward like what we look like right now, or what they look like right now, right? So that's what made Visual Kei, right? So like we cannot, like, there's no definition to it yet, I would say. What do you think there?
Yeah. No, you do bring a good point, because if anything, I felt like this just added more to kind of the Visual Kei music scene, whether it be kind of like from how the music sounds to how they dress and how the makeup is done. Everything we've just talked about kind of start establishing different branches of Visual Kei music scene. You know, It's all we can say from my personal take is there are some things that do carry over. For example, what I mean by that is like a certain look or maybe a little bit of makeup is still consistent on. Doesn't matter if it's like, if we're talking about Muck, Plastic Tree, X Japan, Dead End. Doesn't matter if we talk about those bands. They all kind of carry over some sort of similarities, but they all do it differently. So that's kind of how I will say like that's how I see Visual Kei at this current point and how it's formed, because it's just so interesting that all of this just goes back to Kabuki at the end of the day.
See, again, like this is like there's some like another very interesting things, right? When just like all the Japanese band all together in general, right? Like they don't copy from each other.
Yeah, no, yeah, right? They learn from each other. In fact, actually,
that they learn or inspire, but like they still want to do like create their own thing. Right, that's the wonderful things that they do, and like I think that that's why like they like never really try to compete with each other. They want to like just create something different to attract the audience.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is a very interesting, like going back to what Aaron said, it's a very interesting culture, especially in the Japanese, and more so in the Visual Kei music scene, because everyone that is involved in this scene has some sort of respect for each other, whether it's on a more seniority level or a more like, let's just say friendly competitive, not necessarily competitive, but like friendly, meaning like, hey, they want to just push each other's arts, but in a friendly friendly way. That's kind of what Visual Kei, the whole music scene is about, because I can get you and I can get Johnny into my show, and it's kind of like a bunch of friends hanging out. So that's kind of how the visual music scene is. It's not saying that the West doesn't have this. Of course they do, but it's more so on because of how every band, essentially at the end of the day, let's face it, they're all trying to make money. So it's almost like, why would you invite this band if they're bigger than you, if you're not in good relationships with them, right? Because that also hurts marketing, that also hurts your fan base, that also hurts your income. So there's kind of more, I'll say there's more politics involved in the West a little bit more. Not saying that there can't be friendly community or tightly knitted, but I think the biggest difference is just because when we look at Visual Kei music scene as a whole, everything starts with a few members, and they kind of like, everyone kind of goes back and forth in terms of like, hey, I'm gonna play in your band, oh, I'm gonna play in your show, and everyone kind of has this like almost like this really tightly knit group of musicians that everyone's like, they just respect each other, right? And I think it just comes to show that's the power of Visual Kei, and that's why we love about it, because we can easily see like someone from Luna Sea, just if Kagura was doing a venue, they could be like, hey, do you guys want to be our opening band, for example? Most of the 10 times they will do it, right? So that's kind of what we mean. So yeah, going back to what Aaron said, like I totally believe this is something totally worth mentioning and worth investigating in terms of like people just kind of looking at the Visual Kei music scene. I just think it's a wonderful, beautiful thing, because at the end of the day, hey, how I see it is music is meant to be shared, regardless of culture, regardless of background, because hey, if you make good music, the money will come. I'll be very honest here.
And also, like, one of the most important things is how the music impacts your life as well. It's just like, as I mentioned in all this previous episode, right? I have, like, whenever I go to work, I gotta listen to some good music to keep myself a better mood.
Yes, sir. Yep, that's correct.
So that's another important thing about all this crazy music out there.
And especially Visual Kei music scene, I had to thank it one more time. Is if I didn't really stick to this music scene, I wouldn't have actually be able to explore different sides of music, whether it be like, I listen to metal, rock, rap, classical, pop, punk. I wouldn't have actually listened to this stuff if it wasn't if it wasn't Visual Kei, because it really took things I was familiar with and kind of put a new spin to it, where it's became very acceptable.
Oh yeah.
Which I started to listen to different things. So thank you, Visual Kei. Thank you for and also thank you, Kagura, for being a phenomenal band that has been with me for years. But anyways, Aaron, do you have any words that you want to mention about Kagura, or I guess you're kind of good?
You know what? I gotta check out more songs about Kagura, right? Like because like you it's you who brought them up, and I totally forgot about that. I'm so sorry about that, guys. So, yeah,
How dare you? How dare you, man? All right, for our audience out there, I will suggest 3 songs for you guys. So, Yutaka, and then Uzu, and then there's actually one song, I believe is also from the single of Uzu. It's called Huzuki, I think that's it, or Hutamari. That single is phenomenal, by the way. I'll say if you want to get a good idea of what Kagura is, listen to those 4 songs and you're good, because that's already more than enough.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you very much, guys. Well, that kind of wraps up for the Kagura episode. I think this is the first time I really kind of like talked a lot, but I hope you guys enjoyed the little shift change and just kind of take the moment to appreciate how far we went from talking about the very beginning of Visual Kei, talking about X Japan, and then talking about like some very unique, cool bands that came along the way, whether it be Color, whether it be my favorite, like Creamy Christie. Oh my god, phenomenal name. Too much, but awesome. If you want to check out our other episodes, please check us out over on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. You'll find our other episodes. We do talk about a lot of different bands. This is just definitely one of the amazing episodes we've done. We have done a lot more. Please support us over there. And if you want to be more in touch with us, please join our Discord community, because we want to form a community with a lot of us just sharing our love for music, arts, and just various Japanese cultural stuff. Or even if you want to talk about sushi, I'm down for that. Anyway, guys, hope you guys stay well. We'll see you guys in the next episode.
See you guys.
Bye now.
Bye now.